Welcome back to the Stocks Update. Let's dive into what's happening with Lucid Motors today. Lucid shares have climbed by 8.17%, largely riding the wave of broader market momentum, as there hasn't been any significant news directly tied to the company itself. No fresh SEC filings or noteworthy social media speculation have emerged to drive this surge. Essentially, Lucid is moving in tandem with the overall market upswing. However, a few articles have pointed out that Goldman Sachs recently increased their stake in the company, which is a positive sign. According to their recent 13F filing on May 9th, Goldman expanded their position by 88.82% quarter-over-quarter, a substantial boost given that these filings reflect Q1 activities. While this is encouraging, the sentiment among large financial institutions remains mixed. For example, Citigroup recently reduced its common stock, puts, and calls, signaling a more cautious stance. On the other hand, JPMorgan, which has been maintaining a notable short position against Lucid, recently increased its common stock holdings by 2.24%. However, they still hold a significant 3 million puts, indicating a continued bearish outlook. Shifting to broader market influences, the recent trade negotiations between the U.S. and China appear to have played a key role in today's market movement. Over the weekend, the two economic giants reached a temporary agreement, reducing tariffs on both sides. China lowered its rates from 125% to 10%, while the U.S. brought theirs down from 145% to 30%. This deal, set to last for 90 days, has been a major catalyst, injecting optimism into the markets. Initially, Lucid was slow to respond, climbing just a couple of percentage points, but it has since gained traction, reflecting the broader positive sentiment. One interesting aspect of today's trading is the activity of short sellers. Early in the session, short positions in Lucid actually increased, possibly contributing to the stock's sluggish start. However, as the day progressed, shorts began covering their positions, with 1.76 million shares being returned. This short covering has added significant buying pressure, helping push the stock higher. At the moment, about 28.92% of Lucid's free float remains shorted, equivalent to roughly 356.72 million shares. For those keeping an eye on options, today's data shows 1.14 million in call volume versus 286K in puts, with about 49% of the options trades leaning bearish. Most of this negative sentiment was locked in before the recent market bounce, suggesting some traders may be on the losing side if the rally continues. Current bullish sentiment points towards a potential short-term target of around $3 to $3.50, while bears anticipate a pullback to around $2.50. On the technical side, Lucid is now trading above its 100-day moving average, which sits at $2.63. The next major resistance is the 200-day moving average at $2.81. If Lucid can close above this level for a couple of consecutive sessions, it could set the stage for a potential run towards the $3.50 mark, or possibly even higher if short covering continues to accelerate. It's also worth noting that some brokers are offering negative cost to borrow rates for Lucid shares, meaning they're essentially paying traders to short the stock. This isn't unheard of but does reflect some unique market dynamics at play. In terms of institutional trading, there has been a noticeable uptick in volume today, though it appears to be more balanced than decisively bullish. Much of this volume likely comes from algorithmic trading, which can create rapid price movements without a clear long-term direction. For those interested in tracking this activity, dark pool data reveals a high level of trading interest, potentially indicating where short sellers are trying to hide their positions. Overall, while today's price movement is encouraging, it's important to remember that this surge isn't necessarily driven by Lucid-specific news, but rather broader market sentiment and technical factors. With that said, Lucid's high short interest could lead to some volatile moves in the coming days if the stock breaks through key resistance levels. So, what are your thoughts on Lucid right now? Are you holding, buying, or locking in some profits? Do you think this rally has legs, or is it just a temporary spike? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of market analysis, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth market analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.